Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the Chief Operating Officer of the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, Mr. Give Mochizizi. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the President of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism, Mr. Tich Wingwiri. Also with us tonight is the Chief Executive Officer of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism, Mr. Paul Matamisa. Ladies and gentlemen, also with us tonight, we have got various heads, representatives of subsectors in the tourism sector. Notably, closer to us right now is the President of the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe, Mr. George Manyumwa. Thank you very much, sir. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Obadiah Mazombwe, who is the Director of National Branding in the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to acknowledge the presence of representatives from the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists, as well as representatives from Zimbabwe Media Commission. Also with us is Mr. Isdo Guamombe, who is the Secretary General of the Zimbabwe National Editors Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that he is also Tourism Personality of the Year 2012. I think that is clear-cut indication that media, in terms of tourism, they are a critical partner. We acknowledge that. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to inform you that this event is being streamed live by our media partners, ZIMDITV. You can actually watch them now on Facebook page, ZIMDITV. Thank you very much. At this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, I now want to kindly invite to the podium the President of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism, Mr. Tich Wingwiri, to give us some remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. My role is simply to stand here representing the Council for Tourism. You know, we are the umbrella body that represents a number of subsectors, namely us, namely ASTA, you know, Boat Association, you know, the Airline Association, and so forth. And we're really proud to be here tonight. And all I want to request is if this event could be done as more often as possible. I think you agree with me. You know, it's a platform that will assist us to know each other. You know, it's a platform that will help us to interact with you in an informal manner. But at the end of the day, we've got a number of issues, you know, that continue to be challenges within our industry. And the more we meet and share our experiences with you, I think it's all about the betterment of making this country a great country. The media plays a very important role in this industry. It is you who can build or you who can destroy the perception of the destination. You know, tourism is about perception, and we really rely on you guys to help us market this destination. So we cannot do without you. You can't also do without us. We really want to appreciate the efforts by ZTA and by the ministry, and we'll always be available to support because we work hand in glove. I think with those few words, maybe let me also acknowledge the presence of the ZCT presidents, which is important that we know each other. I've got with me here the Vice President of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism. Let me request Pilani Magazire to stand up. He's the Vice President of the Council. And we have already been introduced to George Manyumwa, who is the Vice President, but in our Council for Tourism structure, he is the Vice President. Missing is a lady by the name Winnie. She is the Country Director for South African Airways, and that completes the team that deals with ZTA, that deals with ministry, you know, on a number of issues meant to make this destination a good destination. I think with those words, I'll give it back to the Master of Ceremonies. I thank you.
Thank you very much, President. For avoidance of any doubt, that was Mr. Tich Wingwiri, the President of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I now want to kindly invite to the podium the Chief Executive of Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, Dr. Karikuga Kaseke. Over to you, sir.
Tested before the function started. Sugar.
Yes, sir.
Did you test your equipment before you started the function?
Yes, sir, we did.
Why is it not smooth?
I'm sure technical issues.
Should have known about those before we started. I'd asked Sugar to invite the media who were inside this gazebo to come out, and when I said to Sugar, when they come out, please tell them this is going to be very brief. They're very brief. We don't want to have a night of speeches. It's not a night of speechifying. We want to interact on a one-to-one. That's why we brought you the whole team from the tourism industry, the president himself, all his vice presidents except one, who is asked for some excuse to be here, and the other dignitaries, especially from the ministry, representing the minister, who is just called and said, please, this was a function we held for the minister himself. We wanted you to talk with the minister, talk to him about how he lost. I wanted you to talk to him about how he lost. On a one-to-one, interview him. But I don't know what happened to the minister. He caught flu. I don't know whether, because I asked him to come and talk to you, Varvara. Saka vatindi kumbire regerero. On a more serious note, the minister is in bed, to be honest with you. I could hardly hear him. He has got a very, very bad flu. I don't know when he developed this flu, because when I was talking to him yesterday, he had a clear voice. But today, I don't know what has happened to him. That's one our president we ZTA. Vachitiwo vanushuvira. Nobody can tell us the nation and I. Vachitiwo vanushuvira kuti ma gatherings akadai nemedia yedu tiaite more often. But he did not specify how often he wishes to have these media cocktails. We call them media cocktails. And I think tikaita maybe 4 times a year, then 2 of those will be sponsored by ZTA. 2 of those will be sponsored by the industry. And I'm serious about this. The industry should sponsor the other 2 so that we can get closer and closer together. I want to go back to my official speech. I want to start by recognizing, Sugar, don't worry if I don't follow your precedence here. Panga paina ukuru wangu akarongwa Sugar, no, also ukuru wangu. I want to start by recognizing members of the media fraternity who, in whose honor, we have decided to have this media cocktail. If there was no media, there was no media cocktail. So I want to first recognize the media fraternity represented by Zuj. I want to recognize you. There is also the Editors Forum, which I want to recognize. Ndozo recognize Wo Hangu, Minister in absentia, represented here by Dr. Mazombo. He is representing the minister. Panga Pakanzi recognize Deputy Minister in absentia. I will still do that. I don't know whether anyone is going to tell her that I've recognized her. Panga pakanzi recognize a permanent secretary in absentia, Dr. Chitepo. Pakanzi ndikozo recognize inini. I don't know how, but those are kanyorwa. Ndikutodzera speech ya Sugar. Those are kanyorwa pano kuti the president, the chief executive of the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, ndakanyorwa pano. But I think I want to say, on a more serious note, the president of the industry, we are trying to bring the industry closer to the media. Not the media closer to the industry. The media has no option. If you don't want to come closer to them, it's up to you. We want the media to come closer to the industry. The industry to come closer to the media. We want to bridge the gap because we know that there are some pockets of discomfort that the industry feels they have with the media. There are some areas where we think they want to be more closer, and we must bring the industry very much closer to the media. And I recognize you, Mr. President, and your team. I've already recognized our media and the Editors Forum, which is led here. We were seeing there's the Secretary General, Mr. Isdo Guamombe. Once I've done that, I want also now to really go through the speech that was prepared for me by Sugar, but it's not Sugar who is talking. Sugar, Arno ZTA, he is a member of the media. The good thing now, if we are so good, we are so TZA, which we have ZTA. He thinks he's very good. And but I've seen him to be good in terms of relating with the media. But in terms of really doing media work, I found him wanting. So I want to say, Sugar,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much for your leading us. It's Sugar who has done all this. It's because of his relationship with the media. I know there's you cannot be liked 100% by everyone in the media, but I think if you use the Pareto rule, 80% of the media are liking you, 20% of the media having some questions about you, I think you are good. 80% of the media, 80% is a distinction anyway. So that is very good. Thank you very much, Sugar. And keep up the good work you are doing for us. So what I'm saying is that I don't want to bore a lot of people with speeches, trying to narrate a lot of things here. I think what we should only do is recognize that our minister has not been able to join us because he's in bed with a very hard flu. And because of that, we just want the president of us, the president of ZTA, and your vice president to just come close again. Mr. President and your vice president, please come closer. This is the issue that I wanted to talk to you about, because separator. I want to see you, Sugar, interacting with the media. That's the purpose of this media cocktail. Let's interact for the 2 or 1.5 hours that comes, but let's interact in a friendly manner. Let's hear from them, and the president talk good about ZTA like you always talk, so that so that you create a good name in the media for ZTA. I know, Angu, that in the past, ZTA, especially me, the chief executive of ZTA, was seen by the industry as someone who is against tourism. But they did not understand where I was coming from. But it took them time. But I'm happy that they now understand far much more than me where I was coming from. And they now appreciate why I was doing what I was doing. And they are now saying, why are you not closing us when we don't pay, when our licenses expire? No, we are now having a different approach, persuasion. We want to work together with our industry, and we are working very, very well together with our industry. But we need this to be complemented by the media. Tourism and the media. Media, you are not our main stakeholder. We are family. We are family, and we want to consider you as such. You are partners in tourism, and we want to work as such. There is no way we are saying, when we have a stakeholders meeting, and we say our number one stakeholder is media. That's what I normally hear from Sugar. Media are not our stakeholders. Media are part of us. If tourism is to prosper, it thrives on positive publicity. There are certain things that we do. I'm not saying don't write about them when they are negative. Write them so that we are kept on our toes. I know that there are a lot of stories that have been written where we have gone wrong. We are very happy with that. Criticize us. Don't just say because the ZTA yatitra cocktail sagat no bed kana mangwana chaimune something chamona wrong about ZTA. We want to read it, we want to correct ourselves. But if it is genuinely from an informative point of view, from a media point of view, and we think that is what you should write about ZTA, we are very happy. If you think that the ministry has done something that we think is wrong, we are supposed to, which they are supposed to correct, why don't you write about it? We want to hear that. Thus, we might, normally, we might try to behave as manshomen, try to behave as if we have offended us, but deep inside ourselves, we will be retrospecting and say, what is this story? Ask Sugar. I call him when there's a story that is either positive or negative. We sit down and we discuss about it, and that is where Sugar is doing very well. He tells me straight what we are saying here, what we are doing, Chief, is not in line with what we are supposed to be doing. That is the job that Sugar is doing, and I think he's doing that very well. So we want to say this evening is not an evening of speeches. That's what I was saying, Sugar. It's not an evening of speeches. We are saying it's an evening of interactive. It's an evening of networking. And I want to say, Sugar, you've done very well, but unfortunately, I can't go through your long speech. We want to say thank you very much for coming. I know we were expecting quite a number of you. That's why we had decided to buy a lot of beer, but unfortunately, the number that we're expecting, I don't know, maybe because of late notification, it did not come in large numbers. We were expecting you to be maybe double the number that is here. And I don't know what we are going to do with the beer, Sugar, but what we are going to do, if there's any beer that is left behind, can we please keep it so that we can decide to deal with it tomorrow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. No, I want you to direct here.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Akariko Gakaseke, the Chief Executive of Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. Awashikirwe vanosvika vega. He is one man wekuti ndikabvunzwa kuti ndoti kudii pavari. He is someone who doesn't call a spade a spade. I mean, he is someone who calls a spade, not just another digging tool. Aiwa, ngativaomberere maoko. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, like what he has said, I don't think we need to be speechifying tonight. What is left is just for us to interact. Let's talk tichitaura, tichinzwisana, tichita mingu ne industry yedu. So on that note, I think ichikafu chiri kugadzirwa ngatimwe yedu tichitandara tichikurukura. Thank you so much. I will give an announcement. Yes, I want to check.
My name is Carol, and I'll be producing and presenting the exciting program On The Set. In this program, we get to talk to the who is who from the celebrities all around Zimbabwe and abroad. We aim to bridge the gap between celebrities and their fans and unveil an in-depth understanding of what makes them tick. Be sure to join us.
Hello viewers, my name is Auntie Lucy. I am so excited to announce to you that we are going to be having a talk show live on ZIMDITV online. Tinenge tichibata nyaya dzemudzimba dzepabonde, marriages ari kuparara. Muri kuzviona kuti dzimba dzakawanda dziri kuparara. Very way, kupi kunyange ingava diaspora. So many things are happening. Tinenge tichitaura nyaya dzevanhu vasati vapinda mudzimba, tinenge tichitaura nyaya dzemasingle mothers. So please, you have to subscribe to ZIMDITV online. You are not going to be disappointed.
Yo, what up? My name is Aldrich. I'm going to be your host for Zim Dancehall Unstoppable every Wednesday live on ZIMDITV. Subscribe, like, share, and make sure not to miss an episode because we're bringing the best of the best in Zim Dancehall as we get deep down and personal. See you on Wednesday.
Television, high definition.
Hello there, I'm Justin Mahlahla, your host on your program Talking Technology. The program streams live to Facebook and other social media platforms. And on Talking Technology, we discuss the latest technological advancements, improvements, and updates. We invite into our studios in Harare technicians, experts, as well as sales representatives to discuss how technology impacts our lives, whether at home or at the workplace. Join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. on ZIMDITV.
Akauya kuhope zangu ndirere zvikanzi nini ndandatsoka ndiri kubva kuchoni asi handichafemi handichanzwi handichaoni handichagoni kutaura nemi rufu murayiro waMwari asi hazvisi nyore kufira kana kufirwa mudiaspora asika regai kupa hama neshamwari mutoro wekuzopera vezimna life diaspora funeral cash plan vanoti gara wakagadzirira semusoja nekuti hauzivi musununguri nediaspora funeral cash plan cover inosvika up to $20,000 iva gamba ugovigwawo segamba. Vabatei padiasporafuneralcashplan.com or WhatsApp number unoswera wava nekava nhasi chai.
Jehova ndibatsireyo
Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Jehova ndibatsireyo
Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Vachane vanobve kudenga ndibatsireyo
Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Nasi wangu ndibatsireyo
Vanimire vakaoma Baba
Verudzi rwangu
vanondigara dare Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Dzinza rangu
vanondigara dare Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Vane chikwambo
chinondisheteropa Baba vanimire vakaoma chinondisheteropa Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
Jehova
ndibatsireyo Baba vanimire vakaoma Baba
chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
onde kudai chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
onde kudai chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
kandarambe chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
saka Jehova ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
Jehova ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
imi vamutinhidzo ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
imi baba chindenga ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo verudzi rwangu vanondizvarada
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo vane chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
vakane chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
vatuma nobvedenga ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
vakava chindenga ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
imi mamutinhidzo ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo verudzi rwangu vanondidharadare
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo vane chikwambo chinondisvete ropa
Vanimire vakaoma
vakarombe chikwambo
chinondisvete ropa Vanimire vakaoma
vakatorombe kachikwambo
Nondisvete ropa Vanimire vakaoma
kanasaresidzoro chikwambo
Nondisvete ropa Vanimire vakaoma
onde kudai chikwambo
Nondisvete ropa Vanimire vakaoma
Jehova ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
vatende vanobve kudenga ndibatsirei
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo verudzi rwangu vakandigarada
Vanimire vakaoma
ivo vane chikwambo
Nondisvete ropa
And so we continue to give you coverage, which is of the event taking place here. We are at Hellenic Sports Club in the capital, Harare. For those of you joining us from Harare, Zimbabwe, we say thank you for joining us. And for those of you who have joined us from the diaspora outside of the country, we also want to say thank you so much as we continue to market Zimbabwe. I'm joined at this event now by the president of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism, Mr. Tich Wingwiri. Mr. Wingwiri, it's a pleasure to have you. And as Mr. Kaseke just said, that the need for this event is to interact with the media and to bridge the gap between your industry and the media. What is your comment regarding that?
Thank you so much. We are very much excited by this development. To us, we call this a game changer. Not that it hasn't been done, but we really want to do it in a different way going forward. Because it is important that this destination, Zimbabwe, needs to be marketed. And the only agents of marketing becomes the media. We really want to be close to the media, so at least we share our experiences, our challenges that we are facing as industry, but all aimed at making this destination a destination of choice. So we are very much happy with this platform, and we look forward to more of these platforms happening, because at the end of the day, it will drive the much needed arrivals into our lovely country, Zimbabwe.
Just maybe before we go any further, would you say you are happy with the way the media in Zimbabwe has been covering the issues of tourism so far?
Absolutely happy. It has been covering issues that help us to send a message to the authorities that we work with, because yes, we face challenges, but these are challenges that require, individuals, corporates, stakeholders to come together. And the only way that the message is also brought to the attention of the authorities is through the media. So we are very much happy with the interaction, and we look forward to more such interactions to take place.
And of course, wherever there is coverage, there is positive coverage, there is negative coverage, and we know that tourism thrives, on positive coverage. But how has negative publicity affected tourism in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, because it's negative publicity on its own, becomes a perception of a destination, and we're saying we don't want to cover up negative things that happen on the destination, but at the same time, we simply want to have what we call responsible journalism, where we are also reporting issues based on facts. So we look forward to getting negative feedback, because it is the negative feedback that will help us to build positives out of it. But yeah, most importantly, what the world requires as well is reality about what is happening on the ground, which I know very well, and media continues to do that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wingwiri. That's Mr. Tich Wingwiri, the president of the Zimbabwe Council for Tourism. Continue watching ZIMDTV. Mr. Wingwiri, I would like to release you and at least allow you to mingle with the media.
Exactly. I need to have a drink with the media. Thank you.
All the best. So we'll be right back. Keep watching ZIMDTV.
Skitty-bitty, skitty-bitty. Item music. Rascal loco, rascal dread, skitty-bitty song. Yeah, yeah. Ayo, item. Rascal up the rascal track. Mari baba daimani batira kutakura mutoro uyo. Imimi ndimi munoona muri kumusoro uko. They wanna name Mari baba daimani batira kutakura mutoro uyo. Imi ndimi munoona muri kumusoro uko. They wanna name. Chete takakurira mu system yakadesignwa kuti iso tema victim. High town de pekono ready, maketo just can't taura ye me listen. Angoma isms and schisms. Rich get richer type of business. The poor get poorer, Jandy me cure. Rascal up or rascal drag. Mari baba daimani batira kutakura mutoro uyo. Imimi ndimi munoona muri kumusoro uko. They wanna name Mari baba daimani batira kutakura mutoro.
Just the two of us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're watching ZIMDTV. For those of you in Zimbabwe, thank you for joining us. Those of you outside the country, we have decided to watch this on our Facebook page, ZIMDTV. It's a pleasure always hosting you on this wonderful platform. I am now joined by the Chief Executive of the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. That's Dr. Karikoga Kaseke. Dr. Kaseke, you said a few words back there, but I would like just to make a follow through on what you said. You mentioned the fact fact that it is important for bridging to bridge the gap between the industry, tourism industry, and the media. Why is this important?
No, because definitely tourism survives on the media. Without the media, there's no tourism. Actually, media is the lifeline of tourism. So if the media is not fed with the industry, with good stories or any stories about what is happening in the tourism industry, there is no tourism to talk about. So if we definitely work very closely with our media, it will take us a long way, because media is critical to us. It is very critical to us. Yeah.
Now, when you talk about the critical role that the media plays in promoting tourism in Zimbabwe, we know Zimbabwe has been going through rough patches, left, right, and center, whether it's the economy, it's in business, almost in every aspect of life. How has the media so far, played its role in terms of promoting Zimbabwe, the marketability of Zimbabwe, vis-a-vis the reportage that we have witnessed to date in the country?
Yeah, like that's what I was saying, that we know that the reportage that has been coming out from some sources of the media are very negative about Zimbabwe, which create negative perceptions about Zimbabwe in the market, where we are battling with other destinations to compete for tourists. Definitely, if we were not aware, we as destinations, we compete. Yes, we talk about cooperation in terms of regional integration, in terms of continental integration, but there is what we call competition. We must cooperate, but at the end of the day, we must also compete. We call that competition. And this is the competition bit of it is where the countries will rely on their brands. So the brand Zimbabwe outside there in the source markets, I want to be very honest with you, it's not a good brand. It is a brand that is associated with all sorts of negativity, and this is where we want our friends in the media to help by portraying not a positive image, but portraying a true image of Zimbabwe. What exactly is Zimbabwe all about? What exactly, if there's no one who has been killed in the streets in Zimbabwe, there is no one who has been killed in the streets in Zimbabwe. Yes. So basically what we are simply saying that perceptions count. Perceptions become reality. And we know that perceptions are very influential in tourism. Tourism is about perceptions. People go to destinations, never mind how beautiful your destination can be, but if the perception of that destination is like what Zimbabwe's perception in the source markets today is, you struggle. For us to be having the number of tourists that are trickling in the country at the moment, it's very hard work. Very hard work, not only from ZTA, but from ZTA and the industry itself. We go together and we try by all means to make sure that Zimbabwe's image is portrayed truthfully, not positively, no, truthfully. And this is what we are saying. You remember we ran with a perception management program where we were bringing in a lot of opinion shapers or opinion leaders from all over the world and celebrities from all over the world. And this is basically what we're trying to do, to try to say, this is Zimbabwe, this is what we know about, this is what you should know about Zimbabwe. And when we brought one artist sometime 7 days ago, and he was asked when he went back to America, he was asked by the people, are you sure you are coming from Zimbabwe? Yeah, and how can you be, how could you have gone to Zimbabwe? What was in your mind? And he said, no, when I came from Zimbabwe, I came via UK. I felt much safer in Zimbabwe than I was in the UK. I felt much safer in Zimbabwe than I am here in America. And that is basically what we want. We want them to portray the image of Zimbabwe as it is. So that, yes, we have got our challenges. We can't run away from them. We have got our challenges where there's some challenges, there's some problems that are happening. If borders are being banned because of a statutory instrument that has been passed by government, We can't run away from that. Bad Bridge went ablaze because such an instrument that was passed by government, people were not happy about it. We can't say it's not happening, but we must also make sure that in the context of that, we must also put things in the right context, in their proper context. So, when we say we must, it's the media. The media must do their work. They must help this destination prosper. Zimbabwe is a very beautiful destination, and it is a real world of wonders. And I think we are not doing justice to our destination. But how are we marketing? Is Zimbabwe marketable? Yes, we are. It's an uphill task. I must admit, it's a very uphill task. It's a very difficult task. But we are. When we go, a person who decides to come to Africa, he will decide to come to Africa and decide which part of Africa he wants to go to. If he decides to go to North Africa, he will never come to Southern Africa because he's interested in North Africa, and he goes to North Africa. A person who comes to South Africa, we have decided to come to Southern Africa, but when he comes to Southern Africa, he decides which countries he wants to go to, and that's where we find ourselves now in competition with other destinations in Southern Africa, and other destinations are at an advantage because they don't have the negative perception that we are having. And that is basically the cause for this media interaction. We need them to help us in terms of portraying a true image of Zimbabwe, which we know that with time it will be positive. And I think we are on the right track. We set on over 2 million arrivals last year, second only to South Africa, and I think it's a good work that we are doing against the perceptions that are on Zimbabwe in the major source markets.
Just before you go, Dr. Kaseke, right now we have audiences all over the world. We have got viewers who are actually watching this program live on their Facebook pages from the United Kingdom, the Americas, from Asia, and all over. What would you want to say to them regarding the image of Zimbabwe right now? Those are also our representatives, our marketers who are out there representing Zimbabwe. What message would you have for them?
Yeah, the Zimbabwe that we know is not the Zimbabwe that they are hearing about on the international media. The Zimbabwe that they are hearing about in the international media, we are also shocked about that Zimbabwe, but we cannot form a perception against our own Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe that we know is a Zimbabwe that is the most peaceful country. People in Zimbabwe love peace. They are the most peaceful people they can ever think of anywhere else in the world. The Zimbabweans are very, very peaceful. I'm saying this to the world. Zimbabwe is a very peaceful country, and they are our unique selling point. What if we can't sell the peace that prevails in Zimbabwe? What can we sell? Zimbabwe is a peaceful country. There's nothing to ask about when we are talking about Zimbabwe. We can only think of the other things that we talk about, which are not really issues. But yes, I have said already that other areas where we need to really address, which we are addressing, and I hope that with time these issues will be addressed. But Zimbabwe is a very peaceful country. Please don't fear about your safety when you come to Zimbabwe. You are safe. Why are people saying that too many roadblocks? These roadblocks, to some extent, are also guaranteeing peace. They are also guaranteeing peace to some extent. But yes, we are saying that we don't want our tourists to be harassed. Yes, we will not allow our tourists to be harassed by anyone, including by the police. We must accept them as visitors, we must respect them as visitors. And I think, but the police in Zimbabwe are known, renowned internationally, renowned globally for maintaining peace. Even if when they go on peace missions, our police comes out tops. So Zimbabwe is selling peace. Come to Zimbabwe. If you want peace, come to Zimbabwe. If you want anything else other than peace, go elsewhere. But if you want peace, come to Zimbabwe.
Well, that's a very powerful statement there from Dr. Kariko Gakasege, the Chief Executive of the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. If you want peace, come to Zimbabwe. And that's what Zimbabwe is selling at the moment. Promoting itself, promoting brand Zimbabwe. Thank you, Dr. Kasege, for joining us on ZIMDITV.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Well, there you are. We continue to give you coverage of this event. This is a Braai party that has been organized by the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, bridging the gap between the tourism industry in Zimbabwe and the media, who are its chief partners. We'll continue to give you guests as they come and join us here on this platform. So keep watching ZIMDITV.
Tamuka, Chiruka, Shandisa, Koraba, Tongoti, Koraba, sometimes I wanna cry. Naguru Kunurira name a guy. Kudara Dara Mucha when I dance. Jaja project. Shipira Kuleso, no Gumbra Mari Gutagare Vari Pejo. Amu Benum Nema Rato Nemieto, Panema non di Tashkarobo. Karabai, Korabai, Shipira Kuleso, no Gumbra Mari Gutagare Vari Pejo. Amu Benum Nema Rato Nemieto, Panema non di Tashkarobo. Karabai, Korabai. Pandakatazira, Diregre, Minyama Yandi Wandira, Murwendo, Ndashaka, Ndakoana, Rugejo, Kamendo, Chipiswa, Sembete Mupero, Ndopwardo, Uyane Mutero, Anzitanga Wagera, Mupende, Nechikero, Sindo, Limbando, Piliva, Marindo, Achandiri, no Shipira Kumeso, no Kumbra Mari, Gutagare, Vari Pejo, Amu Benum, Nemarato, Nemieto, Panema non di Tashkarobo, Karabai, Korabai, Shipira Kumeso, no Kumbra Mari, Gutagare, Vari Pejo, Amu Benum, Nemarato, Nemieto, Panema non di Tashkarobo, Karabai, Korabai, Shipira Kumeso, no Kumbra Mari, Gutagare, Vari Pejo, Amu Benum, Nemarato, Nemieto, Tamuka ona woti Tashkarobo, Karabai, Korabai, Joe Bagata Maronda one, Anti Quenya Quenya, Ana Kupira Arasafe, Muna Mari Wakudenga, Inindo Shingirira Pamurishe, Zamandi Pando Tenda, Munu Wenya Manam Kunwai, Loyan Esmalia Kunyeba, Betkapa, Daga Temba, Chiwana Kasinura, Sema Temba, Maringi, Mosiwa Zondineta, and then Dimi Mucha, Ponaiva, the Shipira Gubeso, Kumra Mare Gubakare, Mari Pejo, Amu Benu, Tamuka Ona, Watisha, Karabai, Karabai, Shipira Gubeso, oh, Mari Pejo, Attend the Karabo, Karabai, Karabai, Shabo, Avo, Avo, Do Magai, Marwago Angu Aya, Piramos High.
Welcome back. I'm now joined once again, another guest here on the platform ZIMDITV. His name is Philani Magadzire, who is the Vice President of the Zimbabwe Council of Tourism. Philani, you are here today to interact with the media. Why is this important?
It's important because the media are our partners, and certainly the media is there to disseminate the feelings of industry, the feelings of the country to the greater public and indeed the world. So they play an active role in giving the voices of the business person and the masses that are part and parcel of the tourism product, which is brand Zimbabwe.
And talking about brand Zimbabwe and how it has been marketed, or rather how it has been portrayed out of the country, what efforts are you making as a council to at least change the perception that is out there?
As a council, as we represent industry and the stakeholders who are actively involved in the offering of the product, the operators. We try by all means to bolster the efforts that the ministry, ZTA, to market the country positively, such that when we get people coming through, they get a positive ambassadorial role, because when they come in and they experience good service, good hospitality, they become our ambassadors. And certainly that's our aim, so that when they come in, we give them the best possible Zimbabwean hospitality, so they become part and parcel of the Zimbabwean tourism ambassadorial product. So certainly we're giving that impression that we want people to come to the country to enjoy our facilities, and we put so much effort and resource as industry in going out there in the international space, the exhibitions, to market ourselves as a brand and indeed as a country.
But then when we talk about perception, we may not need only to restrict that to the outside world. What about inside Zimbabwe? How are Zimbabweans seeing their own brand?
In terms of tourism, the Zimbabwean tourist who is visiting the tourist attractions, be it Vic Falls or Great Zimbabwe, they are seeing certainly that the industry is putting a serious effort in recapitalizing the tourism product and putting a lot of effort in training, in upgrading the facilities, and putting a lot of emphasis in their comfort. So the locals are seeing that, yes, we're doing something positive, and we're getting very good feedback from the local tourists, and they like it.
That's quite encouraging. Now, as a player yourself in the tourism industry, particularly in the region, you have interests, businesses in airports and related infrastructure. How has been the response with regards visitors into the country when you interact with tourists or even just travelers who are not tourists, but the general perception regarding Zimbabwe? What's it like?
They're pleasantly surprised. They're pleasantly surprised, first and foremost, by the hospitality that they receive, the smile that the Zimbabweans give them. Everything Zimbabwean to them is not communicated well enough. Maybe it's the negative press that is global, which as an industry, we're really trying to fight and give that positivity that these people are seeing. And certainly we hope and pray that the ones that have come in go out there and represent us well. So I can only say that the ones that come in are pleasantly surprised, and a lot of them are becoming our ambassadors and are giving referrals to more and more people to come. Hence, you're seeing more international airlines coming in.
Well, we'd like to appreciate you for making your time to join us on this platform. That's Pilani Magadzire, who is the Vice President of the Zimbabwe Council of Tourism. It's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you very much.
We continue to give you more as our guests come on to the platform. Keep watching ZIMDTV.
Henry Patches, but no some Chris Fontana levels. Rascal of the rascal dread. Rascal of the rascal dread. Tokwe Mukosi. On my way, Kanda Buddha Musoti. Dorwata, moyo wangu. Tapin one and Josie. Dona mata Patches, but no some Chris levels. Na Fanta. Jaja to me just it one a pure niceness. My fashion more Atibata pa machine gun. More it's at this place one now left with nowhere to go. Pachi rasta Todarara Mosaka Warumenga Tibatanze Maoko. Shingava Zirati Zozengu Amari Babatin Zirenya Shakosa Shingruzwa Tokwe Mukosi.
Now, when we talk about marketing Zimbabwe and when we talk about brand Zimbabwe, there are so many shareholders and so many stakeholders involved in the promotion and marketing of brand Zimbabwe. Among them is the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe. And joining me now is Manyera Innocent, who is the first vice president of the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe. Innocent, welcome to this gathering, this interaction, and this platform, ZIMDITV.
Thank you so much. Sure.
Right. When we talk about hospitality, can you explain from the industry, the tourism industry's point of view, what does hospitality entail?
We'll be talking of the host. We are the host in terms of accommodation, in terms of catering services. We are saying as Zimbabwe, we are saying we are a value chain that deals with the hosting of all people who be coming to Zimbabwe, be it ZRP, be it immigration, be it people who work for Air Zimbabwe, the national handling crew, etc. So we'll be talking of hospitality and its value chain in terms of the filling stations, the roads, the police, etc. So we're talking of people who will be hosting, the people who will be coming to Zimbabwe. So that's our part as hospitality, the host. But the value chain is quite long in terms of from the entry point until you depart Zimbabwe. So it's actually a wide range of facility that will be offering as Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe.
Now, talking about facilities that you guys oversee in terms of the reception and the staying of visitors into the country, are you satisfied with the infrastructure that Zimbabwe has at the moment? The road infrastructure, the rail infrastructure, the air infrastructure, even the housing infrastructure?
We have been somewhere as a country. We want to acknowledge that it hasn't been well. But we are saying the initiative that is being taken by Zimbabwe Tourism Authority to revive the hospitality industry and the tourism industry at large, it will help us to be somewhere. I understand the macroeconomic issues have been affecting us in terms of the host issues, in terms of road network, in terms of our immigration issues, and in terms of our police issues. But we are saying as a country, we want to drive something through ease of doing business to make sure that we revive brand Zimbabwe. And this initiative that we have to head today, where we engage our message carriers as our ambassadors, the media, to go out there and say Zimbabwe now is taking a different direction in terms of branding Zimbabwe into a new dimension and making sure that we welcome visitors as they do come. That's why you see even the minister have been going across the globe in trying to bring brand Zimbabwe, Africa and SADC through vying for UNWTO Secretary General. It was to send a message to the world to say we are as Zimbabwe and Africa and SADC, we can actually do it. And the perception that is there, media can actually address it to say Zimbabwe is actually a country that is free for people to visit. And we've got our issues that we've been facing macroeconomic wise, but we are addressing them. And we need to see hospitality being a brand recognized by Zimbabwe and the world at large.
Now, you mentioned the issue of perception. What efforts have you made, engaging the media? We understand here you have invited the media, even those who write positively, together with those who would also write negatively about Zimbabwe. But what efforts have you made to make sure that the perception that Zimbabweans have themselves as Zimbabweans is a right perception about their own country? Before we talk about those outside the country, but what have you done to make sure that internally the perception is correct?
What we've done, this is a testimony of what we've done today to engage media through ZTA, which is our parastatal, through the parent minister, the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry. We are saying media, you are the message carriers. We need to make sure that you bring positive image about Zimbabwe. If there is negative, let it be real negative about Zimbabwe and let it be loud for us to address as the industry in tourism and hospitality practitioners. What we are saying is we have got some situation that we need to address that is not actually confined to tourism and hospitality, but at macro level. But we need media to make sure that they carry a message about brand Zimbabwe, because we are marked houses in Zimbabwe and we remain Zimbabweans, whether we're outside Zimbabwe or in Zimbabwe, but we remain Zimbabweans. So the best thing that we can do is to promote brand Zimbabwe positively. And if it's negative, let it be real negative, not manipulated negative. Let's make sure that we do it to our best of our cause and we promote brand Zimbabwe and we correct and even we alert the policymakers like the chief executive, Dr. Kasekev said earlier on, to say, let's make sure that if you are wrong as ZTA and the ministry, let it be loud enough. If you are right as media, let it be loud enough to make sure that we are media that is very immune to manipulation by other forces that might want to create a brand Zimbabwe on the negative side than on the positive side, or even promote it on the positive side while it is not positive. Let's make sure that we do it right. We are the people who are in Zimbabwe, and the growth of our media practitioners is to make sure that it's coming from all operators, be it tourism, be it mining, be it agriculture, be it construction. So let's make sure that media, you get the right message, wrong or right, and we'll go forward. But this engagement is actually sending a message to other ministries and other parastatals to say media is actually a partner, or is actually a marriage partner that we need to carry to the outside world to make sure that the brand Zimbabwe, it will leave an image that is very effective for the change of what we want to do in the country.
Now, lastly, Innocent, to our viewers, we've got quite a number of our viewers, Zimbabweans and other nationalities outside the country, watching us now live on this platform, ZIMDITV. What message would you have as the hosts, as Zimbabweans, to all those outside who would want to visit Zimbabwe one day?
I would say first, for all operators and all stakeholders that are interested in investing in tourism and hospitality business, media people, they are not your enemies. They are your friends, they are your partners. Instead, you should make sure that you create a marriage that is lasting, and to make sure that they carry a message, because they've got a platform that will make a brand Zimbabwe. And if you are wrong, let's admit that we are wrong. If we are right, let's make sure that we are right, and let's push media to make sure that they create a loud message of where we are right. And what I'm saying is to say, let's make sure brand Zimbabwe is created from all value chain. With hospitality, it's not about tourism and hospitality only. We've got a value chain from filling stations, from banks, from immigration, from the police, from Zimra, etc. We should make sure that we make noise. If you don't make noise and if you don't bring practitioners together, like other operators in other industries like agriculture, we talk of command agriculture, which is the talk of the day currently. We need also to talk of other things. There's actually growth in agriculture where they talk of command agriculture, they talk of command livestock, they talk of command winter crop. We need also to talk of command tourism. What it means, we need to bring voices. I know the chief, Dr. Kaseke, is also talking of hospitality operators or practitioners. We don't take heed of the core of government to bring together one voice that will make sure that we are allowed as an industry and be recognized by the policymakers and get also preference in terms of resource allocations, etc. So my call is to make sure that all operators, they bring their voice together and will speak with a loud voice. And tomorrow I am sure we'll be talking of command tourism and hospitality industry of today.
It's definitely coming your way. Command Tourism. That's from Innocent Manyera, who is the first Vice President of the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe. Thank you, Innocent, for joining us on ZIMDITV.
Thank you so much for the initiative. We would want to take it further to make sure that brand Zimbabwe is marketed globally.
Indeed, and this initiative going further and further. And wait for my next guest, who is coming from the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists. Continue watching ZIMDITV.
Mambo shoshe Punzama windi pam shika Sister Saruza Dance how we run Matter like fire me burn Matter how them try Can't stop my windy to the fullest And Rawia, Urain Zira Most wanted, windy president Punza oi, ngoma takadira Y'all know what man a creator Wani kwenye atanga Sejimoko, muchiti dako Etino yako Pamulewa, pamtoko Chenyu chete mutumira isho Toani kwenye atanga Sejimoko, muchiti dako Etino yako Ngare pamulewa, pamtoko Chenyu chete mutumira isho Saka musacha, dinoya na hoi Chamunga toita chete kuchaga ndai Nekuti hatichanwa tiisina mazai Kumba mama vakatomirira opei Punza gangsta kana ku DJ wai Mukagona kuti bandara tuuya everyday Go kana ndiripo, go munga gochemei Mawindi yangu yese, shiri sei Toani kwenye atanga, sechimoko Muchiti dako, etino yako Pamulewa, pamtoko Chenyu chete kutumia isho Toani kwenye atanga, sechimoko Muchiti dako, etino yako Ngare pamulewa, pamtoko kwamtuko chenyu chete inotumira ishoko isusu manje tinopinda pese ndosaka tichidiwa nemunhu wese seshamwari zedu machega tinoita yese takatopikira zvese bvunza kana mbuma tinosvika tuma nekuti tinowedzera spidi rakaguma kuita semuparidzi vanoshora havaziri kuti pane akati tuma towanikwa neatanga sechimoko muchiti dako ehe tinouyako kwamurehwa kwamutoko chenyu chete ingotumira izvo towanikwa neatanga sechimoko muchiti dako ehe tinouyako ngare kwamurehwa kwamutoko chenyu chete ingotumira izvoko nzake kana kuti jy mukagona kuti bhadhara touya everyday ko kana ndiripo ko mungagochemei zviri seisei President Rauya, Pura Nzira, most wanted, win the president.
And so my last guest on this program today is none other than the president of the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists. That's Mr. Chideme, Mr. Michael Chideme. Mr. Chideme is representing all the media houses in Zimbabwe, those who report positively and those who report negatively. I know he might try to defend his turf, but Mr. Chideme, welcome, by the way, to ZIMDITV and welcome to this interaction.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go very far, I was just trying to make a joke there, but you are here as a partner in terms of promoting the tourism industry in Zimbabwe. How important is the media in portraying the right image, the correct image of Zimbabwe to the world?
The media is very important, if I may say, because the media are the carriers of the information about tourism to all our stakeholders, to our domestic tourists and to our foreign tourists. So the media should always be included when we talk of tourism. I think the tendency that I've seen which needs to be corrected in terms of media is when we have delegations going on tourism business, you should all be inclusive. Take media from all media houses and be inclusive so that we have a story told from different platforms. In my view, it's counterproductive to be selective when we take media on tourism business. Everybody should be there so that we have a wider variety, and even in fact the reach of the different media is also different. So let's cater for all the audiences who are there, who read our newspapers, who listen to our radio stations, who listen to our TV stations, our online stations, who go on social media. So let's be inclusive when we deal with the media.
And that inclusivity also implies perhaps accommodating the various angles that stories are reported through by the various media houses that we have in the country. And the need for that balance was actually stressed by Dr. Kaseke, the ZTA chief executive. But as a media practitioner or a representative of the media in the country, are you satisfied with the way the media has portrayed the image of Zimbabwe so far? Are you happy?
Yes, I will say yes, and I'll put the blame where it belongs. It's not the media. The media are simply reflecting what is on the ground. But it's the people in certain positions who abuse the situation on the ground such that the media pick those stories and report on them. For example, right now we have the issue of spikes. Right? It's not the creation of the media. The spikes are there for everybody to say. The media is criticizing the spikes. Right? It's saying this is wrong. Right? And the media is criticizing the number of roadblocks and saying this is wrong. Right? So the media, can we blame the media there? No, I don't think so. But what we need to do with the media is like this cocktail we have had here in Harare. Right? We should have tours around the country with our various media houses to areas of interest. We have journalists who have never been to Wange, we have never been to Victoria Falls, we have never been to the Eastern Highlands. Right? Just imagine if we had had this Braai, for example, at Leopard Rock. The stories that would come out tomorrow about the scenery in the Eastern Highlands, right? Probably about about the scenery in Wange, about the scenery in Victoria Falls. So it's the duty of the tourism authorities to take our media on board so that they know Zimbabwe. And I'm happy with what the ZTA is doing, right? But maybe we need to go a gear up, right? A gear up. Whereas we have been taking journalist A everywhere, right? Let's take journalist B and C so that we have a fair appreciation of the tourism product by a number of our journalists. It's counterproductive to have only a few journalists having an appreciation, right? In the newsrooms there are a number of beats, right? But each beat can mainstream tourism. Health can mainstream tourism. Sport can mainstream tourism. Municipal reporters can mainstream tourism, right? Agriculture can mainstream tourism. So let's be as inclusive as possible and cast our net wider so that we have the tourism story told from all angles, right? Right now, I would say we have a linear focus on tourism because I am the tourism reporter. I'm the tourism reporter. So is the tourism story without mainstreaming other areas that feed into the tourism basket.
Well, that also speaks to issues of capacitating every reporter who is in the country. But just before we go, your commitment to the tourism sector as the media.
We are very committed to the tourism sector, especially now that we know the contribution of tourism to the GDP. Right now it's at 11%, right? And as media, we want job creation in Zimbabwe, and what we want to do is let's get the stories rolling, right? And let's get the opportunities coming so that we are all over the country. There are areas where just a few have been to, right? Let's get the journalists there so that they begin to report our story from there, right? And even the online stations, we need them right in the jungle, see the product in the jungle, see the product in Lupane, in Guruve, in Mashumbi Pools, in Wange, in Eastern Highlands. Let's take everybody on board. Yes.
Oh, you sound quite well traveled yourself around the country, aren't you?
And I want it to cascade to my colleagues.
Thank you, and we really appreciate your presence here. That's Mr. Michael Chideme, who is the president of the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists. Thank you for joining us. And that's all we had for you today on ZIMDITV. We were streaming live on our Facebook page. That's ZIMDITV. This event is the coming together, bridging the gap between the media and the Zimbabwean tourism industry. Until next time, it's bye for now.
It's been live.
Akauya kuhope dzangundirere zvikanzi nini ndandatsoka ndiri kubva kuchoni asi handichafemi handichanzwi handichaoni handichagoni kutaura nemi rufu murayiro waMwari asi hazvisi nyore kufira kana kufirwa mudiaspora asika regai kupa hama neshamwari mitoro yekuzopera vezimna life diaspora funeral cash plan vanoti gara wakagadzirira semusoja nekuti hauzivi musiningiri nediaspora funeral cash plan cover inosvika up to $20,000 iva gamba ugovigwawo segamba vabatei padiasporafuneralcashplan.com or WhatsApp number unoswera wava nekava nhasi chai.
This livecast has been powered by ZIMDITV News, a division of Sly Media Productions, specialists in social media streaming and in-house TV productions.